What's good, everyone? This is Marcus the Fingaz, Dafingaz. Definitely follow me on social media. Go to defingaz.com to subscribe to my newsletter, where I share this same content in addition to weekly tips on networking, marketing, music production, balancing a creative life with life, and all of the above. But today we're going to talk about how hard it is to talk about music. I have my notes here. It's very hard to talk about music. I came across this quote a few weeks ago from an interview I read with Mortal Kombat composer Benjamin Wallfish, who is an incredible musician, incredible composer who's worked on a lot of incredible projects, films, TV shows, things like that. And he shared in that interview this quote: "It's very hard to talk about music. It's better to have music to talk about." So what does he mean by that? In that sort of interview, he sort of explained it's that he was discussing with directors, while working with directors, how having music ready to play for them can be helpful, instead of going to a meeting with a director and saying, it's going to be like this, it's going to be sad and dramatic and uplifting, or whatever the case is. If you already have music to present to them, that can make things a little easier, the conversation easier, and we can apply this same concept to other areas as well. If you are a music creator, sort of working with an artist, and they say they want that sad music, that could mean different things to each of you. But if the artist says they want sad music along the lines of "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic, you now have that music to talk about, or what sometimes is called a reference or reference song. So that can be the guideline for the direction you can go with your music. Here's another example. I was a guest on a podcast show called 3 Beats Later. I will share some links to those videos. I was a guest actually on 2 shows where we talked about music contests. The first show was sort of introducing me and introducing the contest that we would all be entering. And then the next show, we would show our entries, and then we would also go into how we created those entries. So at the end of the second show, they asked me what the sample challenge for that next week should be. And I could have said anything like sample a song from a specific artist, or a genre, or a movie soundtrack, or a specific year, or really anything. But you know what I said? I said, let me create the sample for next week. And I'll tell you why I said that. There are multiple reasons why I said that. One is it challenges me to create something for them to work with, or challenge me. I actually did it. This was a couple weeks ago. And as soon as we ended that show, it was probably around 11:30 midnight that night. I just created the sample. It took me like 10-15 minutes, not too long. Created the sample and sent it out to them. But it challenged me to create something for them to work with. It helped me to build a relationship with the 3 Beats Later podcast team. It also helped me build a relationship with each producer separately on that show, who would go in and flip the sample. And it's something memorable. I believe this was the first time on the show that someone offered to provide a custom sample for them to flip for their next challenge. It also keeps me top of mind. So at least for another week, they were talking about, that experience that we had. And then I had sort of 3 episodes with them. So that keeps me sort of top of their mind. Instead of talking about music, I could have been like, sample these genres or these artists. I am providing them music to talk about, and that's my music. So that is just one way to apply that concept. So whatever musical conversations or conversations you have in the future, just keep in mind, and you can replace music with whatever your chosen topic is. So instead of, very hard to talk about music, it could be hard to talk about, finances or things like that. So just give them something to sort of talk about. Give them a chart or some other finances or some relatable thing that they can relate to. Then you can compare that back to what you're doing. So I'm going to leave you with that. It's very hard to talk about music, but it's better to have music to talk about. Be safe and be well, everyone. Enjoy your week. Have a great week. I have more videos on the way, so stay tuned. All right, peace.